What is a great way to make someone feel uncomfortable? Simply say, "Remember me from a long time ago?" If they say no, just smile and say, "Think about it," smile and leave. This happened to me once a couple of years ago and I am still confused. Well, did you think about it? I think he needs more thinking to do. Look constantly at the mouth, shoes or forehead. The person will feel like there is something wrong with those body parts. Or just look them in the eyes but never break eye contact. Most people struggle with eye contact already. Staring them in the eyes will creep out most of them. Being overly touchy or very close to them. Giving them nicknames from the first meeting on. Smell their hair from behind and make a deep-voiced mmmhhhh. I could go on forever. Bonus: if you try to get rid of someone who has a crush on you, call them buddy, bro, mate, or talk about how much you like some other boy, girl. Works wonders for men and women. I studied behavioral science at university. A surefire way to make someone uncomfortable is to hold normal eye contact, then flick your eyes to one other part of their face every 20 or so seconds. They will subconsciously start to think there is something there and then start touching the place you look. If you don't want to engage long enough for this, then all you need to do is stare at their forehead. It's not impolite, but because the eye contact isn't there, although it theoretically should be, they will generally cease interaction without understanding why. On the opposite, if you struggle with eye contact like I do, looking at the bridge of the nose gives the semblance of eye contact without the other person realizing. Otherwise, tell people you are slightly hard of hearing and so will have to watch their mouth when they talk. There are two that work for me. I do the nose thing since I can't figure out which eye I'm supposed to be focusing on. Stand really close to them when you talk to them. I prefer standing about 4 inches behind them as you talk to them, and as they turn to face you, make every effort to orbit with them so you're just like running behind their head as you engage them in an otherwise normal conversation. Go home, Lyndon Johnson, you are supposed to be dead. Whilst talking to them, occasionally sniff and look confused, as if there is an unusual unidentified smell in the air. Give them a curious glance, then briefly shake your head, like, "No, it couldn't be them, could it?" Put a pea between their mattresses. I wouldn't even notice if another mattress is under my mattress. What about a chicken nugget? Apparently continuing to stand when everybody else takes a seat really unsettles people. At my bus station everyone sits on the metal bench in the queue, then as soon as our bus arrives in the station they jump up right away even though they can't move anywhere as we're still in the queue, and the bus always takes a couple minutes to drive round and stuff. I usually stay seated until it gets there and I can't tell you how many odd uncomfortable looks this has got from people. Whenever the plane lands, I always wait to stand up until my row can actually unload. There's always several people standing around me, giving me nervous looks. Stare silently outside their bedroom window. Also, smiling while holding a red balloon. Can the balloon also have a picture of my face making the same expression on it? My buddy Jay always knew how to make the boys and girls at camp quite uncomfortable with his false jaw. Yeah, see, Jay could, and often would, open his mouth all the way and use his foreknuckle to tap at the hinges. Pop on one side then pop on the other, and just like that, his entire jaw would be dislocated and free hanging. His exceptionally long tongue would dangle and drip like a juicy slug with a secretion disorder, trying to pull itself up on a leaf. With his throat extra open, he was able to let loose a warbling, bassy bellowing not all too dissimilar to a didgeridoo. Haha, and that's when most folks express their disgust. Each and every girl and boy besides me would contort their unprepared faces with unease. The unsettling sight of my slight boy, Jay, waggling his over-salivating tongue, flinging thick drippies through the humid summer camp air, was enough to make some of these fragile babies retch in horror and repulsion. That's when he'd give me the wink. I've got to admit something here. I have my own way of making people feel uncomfortable, and it has to do with my hips. My hips are mighty flexible and mighty strong, and much like Jay's jaw, I'm not limited to the joint they start in. No sir, I pop out my legs and turn them, quite easily, 180 degrees, making them face upwise instead of down style. If the loud, wet, uncorking twist and pops of my two legs being repositioned, with my bones and sinew visibly moving beneath my skin, wasn't enough to turn that reactionary upchuck at Jay's dangling jaw and throat quaver into a full-scale hot spew, then this trick would spill your chili pot for sure. But that's not what the wink was for. Sure, subjecting these admittedly innocent teens to this grotesque display was fun, but where was the terror? With my legs reversed, I had a whole new center of gravity to work with and strong, powerful thighs in which to hold my body completely horizontal. I'd waddle over to Jay, jaw flopping as he's chuckling, and stick my head between his legs, nestling my neck callous into his junk. Then he'd jump, kick, twist, and plop. His legs would be up, wrapped around my lower back, my arms around his knees, and his hands would be on the floor. Our spines would form a synergistic alignment, making us look like a terrible four-legged beast. My own junk would be hanging like a gnarled willow tree root. Then the chase would be on. We'd hunt down any runners. The stayers, those frozen in fear or disgust, would be spared. It wasn't because they deserved it. It was just that me and Jay had much more fun chasing down our prey. With my powerful legs we were able to leap and sprint. Our two bodies meant we can maneuver around trees and chairs and doors and traps and hardly need to slow down. Jay's distended tongue and open throat gave him an enhanced sense of taste which made hiding from us impossible. No matter where you went, Jay would be able to taste your sweat in the air. Once we got you, it was a full-body assault. Jay would pin the arms and lick everything north of the umbilicus. Sometimes I thought that tongue of his was positively prehensile. Meanwhile, I'd scrunch our dual body up, arching me and Jay over our victim. Exposed from the lick down, I would reach down and just tickle the everlasting soul out of them. Sooner or later, their sense would be overwhelmed, overstimulated, and their bodies would shut down. Another satisfied customer, we'd call them. We did this for a dozen or so decades around several camps in the Great Lakes area. But what happens? Same thing as everyone else. You grow up, have families, and lose that wild, youthful energy. I miss it though. Hard not to think about sometimes, especially on these humid June days like today. Haha, it gets my hip bones itching. What the actual asterisk. Face the wrong way in the elevator. And start mumbling indistinguishable gibberish. I must find a more suitable host body. Just look through them or at their crotch. Or look through their crotch. Ask them to accompany you into the wine cellar for a lovely cask of wine, and make no mention of the construction project in said cellar. Deep cut. Very nice. Furiously pat the seat of the chair right next to you, look them dead in the eye, smile and amp, say come in amp, sit here, better still if you don't even know them. I like your feet. Our username checks out. Talk as fast as you can, running sentences and words into each other. Bonus points if you can't change subjects at least twice before you run out of breath, you know, like Jordan in Real Genius did. That's a great movie, by the way. Not many people have seen it. Then gasp for air for 30 seconds. What the beep did I just read? Talk as fast as you can, running sentences and words into each other. Bonus points if you can't change subjects at least twice before you run out of breath, you know, like Jordan in Real Genius did. That's a great movie, by the way. Not many people have seen it. Then gasp for air for 30 seconds. Knowing that someone is in a bathroom stall and repeatedly knocking anyway. Or better yet, pounding on the door. Hard. You're breathing manually. You blink occasionally. You swallow your saliva now and then. You are holding your jaw up. Your tongue doesn't fit in your mouth properly. Your head is tilted. If none of those make them uncomfortable, they might be a robot. Mother asterisk. Oh, you bitch. Stand just a little too close, not so close that it's obvious. Just a hair closer than is normal. Smile and lick your lips whenever they say something you agree with. I do this but like LL Cool J. Not include them in a conversation when in a group setting. Psychological bullying at its best. Always hold a conversation standing up with a boner. Then if they say something, you call them a beep pervert for looking at your roast beef slayer. Beep that roast beef. Do you get erections during your colonoscopy, or is it just me? OMG. Best comment. Just straight up stare at them, and when they look over at you, maintain eye contact for as long as possible. Just go into the wrong bathroom and use it. Are we having fun tonight or what? Licking your lips and wiggling your eyebrows suggestively every time they look at you. Agree with everything they say. Look at their kids and starting breathing heavily and grunting. That's a great way to get knocked out, son. Ask a non-pregnant woman when they're due. I did that one time in total innocence. I got the coldest response I have ever heard. I am not pregnant. Ice started forming on the walls. Breathe heavily while continually staring at any one part of their body. Doesn't matter which part, just never look away. Ask him if he had eaten some beans. Look at their feet, shoes. Open your eyes as wide as you can and say, yes, feet for bonus point. Talk about your bodily issues. Jerk off while staring at them. YOUAREMAS